I like those jeans, babe.
Hmm?
I like those. They look nice. Who just said hello to me? See, they already know me. From the Topsy. He's like,
Oh, the
the
girl?
man, the man. This is new, babe.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Guess we'll know when they're finished, huh? It's cool.
We might be have the play during the
Basketball,
fiesta, yeah.
right? When is the fiesta?
On the 8th.
Here?
Uh-huh.
Is it gonna, they're gonna come through here, whatever
Yeah,
it
on
is?
our side, like in New Orleans, there are some play for the kids. Please, okay. Ay, there is somebody.
So, check this out, people. We are traveling to the Divisoria in Manila. We are taking several forms of transportation. Right now we are taking a trike, which is a motorcycle with a small cart attached to it. After which we are jumping on a jeepney.
That's why I don't like to wear shirt, but your shirt,
Why?
you look good. But I look fat.
A jeepney is a 1940s or 1945 military vehicle. It is a U.S. military vehicle used to transport soldiers from one base to another back in World War II. These vehicles are about 80 years old and they are still working today. No such thing as 100,000 miles before you buy a new one. No such thing as once you reach 100,000 miles, you replace it. No such thing in this country. People repair their vehicles, people hold on to their vehicles, and people know how to make their vehicles last. Vehicles should not be traded after 100,000 miles. You should not jump into debt after paying off one car to jump into debt by buying into another brand new car which you are financing. So here we are traveling to the Divisoria in Manila because my girl is doing a charity fund for the children in her former province where she was raised. And so in a week we are traveling there by ferry and then by van. So we are going to the Divisoria to buy school supplies and toys for the kids. This vehicle here is the Jeepney. It is so uncomfortable. You practically gotta crawl to get inside. And once you sit down and others sit down next to you, they are practically sitting on top of you, which most Filipinos do not mind, or at least it appears that way. And so I do not like traveling in the jeepneys. But today, since there aren't too many people, I will be traveling in it with my girl. I cannot stand traveling in these jeepneys. These vehicles are very hard to get in and out of. You practically have to crawl to get into them, and you have to crawl to get out. And the worst thing about it is that the driver doesn't usually wait for you to sit down before he starts to drive off. And when they are full, you find yourself tripping and falling into passengers who are sitting down. The worst thing about the jeepneys is that they get very, very crowded. And if you sit next to someone who is wearing shorts and you're wearing shorts and short sleeves, then you will be rubbing your thighs against each other and your arms up against each other. And if it is a woman, it is so uncomfortable. The worst thing about climbing these stairs is that if you are elderly, pregnant, or disabled, it is a mission. It is a mission for me. I can only imagine how hard it is for those who are pregnant, disabled, or elderly. These stairs tend to be very steep, very, very steep, and very high, making it really difficult to scale up or down. Usually this area is full, but today, it being a weekday, most people are either already at work, at school, or at home. I always find these places interesting. Not everything in the Philippines, just like not everything back home in the US, is modern. And so here we are scaling, going down these steep stairs, which you cannot tell by the video, but they are very steep and very hard to scale. How they do this on a regular basis, I don't know. But thank God today, both jeepneys that we're riding on are pretty much empty. And so the ride so far is comfortable. But if it were packed, then I would prefer to take a taxi. A jeepney only costs 12 cents, or rather 12 pesos to ride, which is equal to 24 cents. A taxi to the same destination, 400 pesos, close to that, which is about $8 American. Usually the person who is about to pay will say bayad po, which means I am paying. Po is a form of respect, and they usually say that after every sentence. And so when you pay, you pass your money to someone close to you, and they will pass it down until the driver gets it. And this is the view from the back of the jeepney, which is wide open. And if you are not careful, when the driver takes off, you can fall. I almost fell at one point. And if you plan on coming to the Philippines, always be prepared. Always be with a local, with someone who's familiar with the area, with someone who's familiar with the transportation. Do not get lost here, and do not talk to strangers. Do not entertain strangers. They will set you up. They will take your money. They will rob you. They will spike your drink, and they will take everything you have and leave you for dead if you are not careful. Most people are great. They're kind and always curious about foreigners, but not everyone is kind. Not everyone is honest. Just like in the US, just like everywhere in the world, there are bad people, and there are people who simply want to take what you have. So when you come to the Philippines, always be aware that not everyone who entertains you is trying to be your friend. Better to avoid strangers. Better to simply say no thank you and keep walking, whether you understand what they're saying or not, whether they insist or not. If someone insists on talking to you when you said no thank you, they are shady. Keep walking, keep it moving. Eventually, they will leave you alone. And if you want to experience life outside of the US, your first step is to get a passport. Don't wait until you're ready to travel outside the country to apply for a passport. The number one step that you have to take before you consider traveling outside the country is a passport. Without a passport, you are wasting your time. And if you decide to want to leave the country, and you don't have a passport, by the time you show interest, it'll be a waste of time because you would have simply not gotten your passport. So, people, do something with your money. Do something with your life. Think about it. Life is short. Life is good. Get a passport and go somewhere.